bring executives from Disney who want kids to be watching Mickey Mouse and watching Disney shows on TV, and kids are saying to them, what's the Cartoon Network?
Yeah, I mean, we were going to premium homes who had premium DSTV connections, and they were saying, you know, do you watch Cartoon Network? No, we don't watch Cartoon Network. Or what do you watch? Oh, no, we watch Opopai. And Opopai is the word of, you know, what from the word Popeye. And here they're spending millions on Cartoon Network, and they should be marketing Opopai. You know, and this is a really important thing because, you know, I write at length about language. There's a huge campaign for a painkiller that had this campaign that said, ow, ow, plus the painkiller equals to wow, wow. And it did really badly. Well, you know, no one says ow, they say ishu or they say ish. So we created a campaign that said ish, ish plus the painkiller equals to sharp, sharp. And it was an immediate success.
It turned around like that.
The way people communicate and the way people use English is a very critical thing, and we don't get it, you know. Joking earlier about the, you know, the walls in the township, the walls around your house are called stop nonsense, you know. We should be using this language more. You know, Julius Malema said, white people must recognize that black people's English is like airtime. Sometimes it runs out. Yes. You know, we must be using black people's English.
Tell me about opportunities. I mean, people often look at townships and say, wow, they're not more cottage industries. Why aren't people growing vegetables? And you talk about, in your KasiNomics Revolution book, about, well, actually, people don't want to necessarily buy the vegetables that are grown in townships. It's not necessarily a great environment for healthy food production. Yeah. But there are other options. And one of those other options includes the muti industry. You spoke about as a 3 billion rand industry.
So I think often we kind of have this thing about these linear things. You know, we're going to have a bakery and it's going to supply Woolworths. You know, or the vegetable guys are going to supply Fruit and Veg City. And I think it makes no sense. Why, you know, these Gorda outlets, as, you know, 10 billion rands worth of Gordas, the township bakery should be supplying the Gorda outlets. We should be getting that circulation. But even the Muti example is an example. You know, there's a 3 billion rand industry there. And we do not have a single company in this country, either large agribusiness or small farmer, who is actually growing muti for that muti market.
I mean, we've just had, and I don't think I'll get into trouble. It's legal. In your child life, living on the banks of the Tugela River, one of your early jobs was running a ferry across, and you would get a cut of every person and every bag carried across, and some of those bags were filled with big green weeds, and that's dagga. Dagga now legal, of course, for home consumption in South Africa. I mean, please, if there's not a business opportunity in South Africa for a green revolution, there never will be.
Well, you know, the interesting thing is that the margins, there's recent research showing the margins of the Canadian agribusinesses on dagga is like minuscule. It's not justifying a lot of the investment. Whereas what I looked at, when I looked at the dagga industry in Msinga, we found that the people were selling a bag of dagga for 5,000 rand, and that same bag of dagga, when it got to the streets of Johannesburg, would be selling for 400,000 rand. And you know, there's this fleet of, and I discovered this because I went to a friend of mine who owns a local tire business, and I said, how's business? He says, our business is terrible. I said, why? He says, no, the police just burnt all the dagga. And he loses 40% of his business a week after the police burn the dagga. And you have this multitude of bakkies that are delivering. And in fact, in Msinga, you know, you say to people, what do you do with your bakkie? They say, it's Tengisama Benjis, which means we sell peaches. There's not a single peach tree in Msinga. So, and you know, the thing is about these businesses is that they generally often have very much higher margins, are much more efficient. And the trick is really, how do you get into that? I mean, I talk about the backroom business in my book. The backroom rental industry is worth about 30 billion rand a year. That's not just what the immigrants rent for probably around 30 to 50 billion rand a year. They rent their stores from the South Africans.
But you got this Gorgongubani whose house you popped into one day, and she took you around her stand and showed you, there's a guy fixing an engine over here, there's somebody renting a room over here, there's somebody running a hairdresser around the corner over there. There is tons of opportunity. Yeah. Back to the green economy, because I mean, for South Africa, organic, grown product that has defied all attempts to shut it down over decades and has survived, there's got to be an export opportunity, not only for that region, but for the country. Grow it, tax it, and export it.
We have to look at it differently, though, as well, because everyone's saying, okay, we're going to go and plant this, fields of dagga and in agroponic stuff and whatever. Why? We've got hundreds of thousands of little growers in the Eastern Cape and KZN. And if you look at some models like the wool in Lesotho, where each one of these shepherds brings their stuff their sheep to a depot, we should be doing that. We should be actually looking. I mean, the opportunity for me in the whole dagga industry is about going to those growers, helping them improve what they're growing.
Get better yields, get better quality, and
100%. But then take make them do all the farming, which they're really good at, and they do it on the banks of the Tugela, and they buy themselves a little pump, but then take it from them and then extract it, and then fulfill that gap. Don't try and replace these other gaps, because you're going to find margin issues. And so the ability to network and to connect with these businesses where a lot of the opportunities are. The Tolerum Group turns over $1 billion a year, using those 500,000 little distributors. They don't go and set up their own massive distribution, ABI type distribution network, and it's hugely successful and very efficient.
Why do companies and people find it so hard to tap into the Kasi economy?
Because they want to formalize it. The first answer is we want to formalize this. So we don't recognize what works in a certain place. So, I'll give you a quick example. I was told about Pick n Pay have this little thing called Pick n Pay Markets, where they take a spaza and they transform it. And by all accounts, I believe it's not working very well. But one of the outlet owners said to me, they said, the thing is, we had a really successful meat thing in our shop. And when Pick n Pay came, they said, no, you can't sell that. You can't sell cow's heads. I said, cow's heads was one of our big things that we sold in that market, but Pick n Pay corporate policy said you couldn't sell that, despite the fact that the consumers in that area don't see it, don't look down their noses at it. They think cow's head is a delicacy and something really cool. So, that's what the businesses do. We say, we're coming into the area and we're going to take it and we're going to enforce it on you. We won't let you sell cow's heads in a Pick n Pay. But actually our consumer is wanting this. So we have this arrogance of power, and we also aren't able to replicate the Uber or Airbnb is probably a better example. So the hair salon industry, for instance, a multitude of hair salons, just a simple app which would connect consumers coming to that, and connect companies to that. But you don't have anyone networking, connecting the dots. What we want to do is we want to go and we want to find the massive hair salon, and then we want to distribute to them, or go to the big wholesaler. We don't move that other level down. And in that, we're going to fail. As much as the gigabyte economy needs this networking of multitudes of small, personalized businesses.
Connecting the dots, GG Alcock, thank you very much indeed. GG Alcock on Taking Stock this evening. Fascinating insights into the world of KasiNomics and why it is that large corporations struggle so much to get their heads around a thriving economy, a big contributor to GDP that we still can't measure. Imagine if we did and we could add that to our numbers. We might stave off the downgrade if and when it comes. Next time on Taking Stock, look forward to seeing you then. Bye-bye.